Good morning, everyone, and distinguished lecturer. We are from Group 6, and my name is Christopher Kevin Politon. Today, we will present our research entitled Hedging Strategies in Contemporary Song Lyrics, a pragmatic analysis of emotional expression in selected songs of Simu Liu. This study examines how hedging functions as a pragmatic strategy in expressing emotional vulnerability within song lyrics. The analysis focuses on four songs by Simu Liu: Break My Heart, If It's Time, Don't, and War. Through this research, we aim to demonstrate how linguistic expressions of uncertainty and subjectivity contribute to emotional meaning in contemporary music. My teammate Alvin will share the background of this study.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, I'll explain the background of our study. Language is not only used to deliver information, but also to express emotions, build relationships, and represent personal experiences. In communication, people do not always express their feelings directly. Instead, they often use expressions that soften their statements or make them less certain. In pragmatics, these expressions are known as hedges. Although hedging has been widely studied in academic writing and formal communication, its use in song lyrics has received much less attention. This is interesting because song lyrics often express love, loss, uncertainty, and emotional vulnerability, where people naturally avoid making direct or absolute statements. For this reason, we have selected four songs by Simu Liu: Break My Heart, If It's Time, Don't, and War. Four songs. These songs focus on themes of relationships, heartbreak, hesitation, and emotional conflict, making them suitable for analyzing hedging strategies. By studying these songs, we hope to show that hedging is not simply a sign of uncertainty or weak language, but rather a deliberate, pragmatic strategy that helps artists express emotions while protecting themselves from emotional exposure.
I'm Ahmad Fatih and I will continue the presentation from my friend Alvin. And I will explain the research objective of this study. This study has three main objectives. First, to identify the types of hedging devices used in four selected songs by Simu Liu. The second, to analyze the pragmatic function of those hedging expression and conveying emotional vulnerability and uncertainty. Third, to explore how the contrast between hedge and non-hedge expression creates emotional tension and authenticity in the lyrics. Overall, this research aims to show the hedging is not simply a sign of weak language but a deliberate strategy for expressing emotion while reducing emotional risk.
Now, I'll explain the theoretical framework and methodology used in this research. This study is based on the theory of hedges proposed by George Lakoff in 1973. According to Lakoff, hedges are words or expressions that make statement less direct, less certain, or fuzzier. Instead of presenting something as an absolute fact, hedges allow speakers to express uncertainty, possibility, or personal opinion. Common examples include words such as maybe, if, some, just, and expressions like feels like. Lakoff explained that these expressions do not weaken communications. Instead, they help speakers manage interpersonal relationships, reduce emotional risk, and express sensitive feeling more carefully. For the methodology, this study uses a qualitative pragmatic analysis. The data consists of lyrics from 4 songs performed by Simulio: Break My Heart, If It's Time, Dawn, and Warm. The lyrics were collected from official releases and verified through public lyric databases to ensure their accuracy. Next, we examine its lyrics line by line to identify words and expressions functioning as hedges. The analysis focused on 4 main categories: conditional, approximators, vague and vague quantifiers, epistemic or subjectivity markers, and minimizers. We also compared hedged expressions with direct, non-hedged statements to understand how they influence emotional meaning within the songs.
Thank you, Alvin. The analysis revealed 3 major findings. First, conditional and epistemic hedges function as forms of deferred commitment. In the song If It's Time, the repeated phrase If It's Time frames separation as a possibility rather than a certainty. Likewise, words such as maybe and phrases such as feels like present emotion as subjective perceptions rather than objective facts. These expressions reflect hesitation and emotional conflict. Second, vagueness and approximation function as emotional protection. For instance, in Break My Heart, the phrase some pretty eyes uses the vague quantifier some to avoid specificity. Similarly, the phrase this close in don't indicates proximity to an action without fully confirming it. These hedges create emotional distance and reduce the speaker's commitment to what is being expressed. And third, the song strategically alternates between hedge and non-hedge expressions. While many lines contain uncertainty, there are also moments of direct emotional disclosure. These moments become more impactful because they contrast with the surrounding hedge expressions. This pattern creates a dynamic movement between emotional protection and emotional exposure. Overall, the finding suggests that hedging is not simply a marker of uncertainty. Instead, it functions as a deliberate pragmatic strategy that helps speaker regulate emotional vulnerability.
And I would like to present some example of hedging strategies found in the selected song. The first example is from the song If It's Time. If it's time, then maybe I should. This line contains 2 hedges, if and maybe. The word if makes the decision conditional instead of certain, while maybe expresses hesitation. Together they show that the speaker is emotionally certain and not ready to make a firm decision. The second examples come from Break My Heart. I find some pretty eyes to smile at. The word some is a vague quantifier. Instead of referring to a specific person, the speaker uses an indefinite expression to create emotional distance. This softens the idea of moving on after heartbreak. The third example is from Dawn. Feels like everybody in on something. The press feels like is an epistemic hedge. It presents the statement as the speaker's personal perception rather than an objective fact. This makes the lyrics sound less assertive and more emotional vulnerable. Finally, the study also compared hedge and non-hedge expression. For example, the line "Cows I'm cut and bruised and covered in scars" contains not hedge at all. Unlike the previous example, the sentence expresses the speaker's feeling directly. The absence of hedging makes the emotion stronger and highlights a moment of complete honesty and vulnerability.
Finally, I will conclude our presentation. This study shows that hedging plays an important role in expressing emotions in song lyrics. Using Lakhov's theory, we found that simile frequently uses different types of hedges, such as conditionals, vague quantifiers, approximators, epistemic markers, and minimizers. These expressions help soften emotional statements, delay difficult decisions, and reduce the speaker's emotional exposure. Interestingly, the song also includes moments without hedges. This direct statement creates stronger emotional impact because they contrast with the more cautious and uncertain expressions found throughout the lyrics. Overall, our findings demonstrate that hedging is not a weakness in communication. Instead, it is a powerful, pragmatic strategy that allows speakers and songwriters to balance honesty with emotional protection. Through these linguistic choices, simile-use song communicate vulnerability in a way that feels both natural and meaningful. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.